You're listening to JFDI with the Two Lauras, the podcast for social media freelancers who want to get more visible, streamline their systems, master their mindset, and make more sales. I'm Laura Davis, and alongside my co-host Laura Moore, we're on a mission to make working as a freelancer easier, because working from home shouldn't mean working alone. We believe relying solely on long-term clients is a big mistake. It means your bank balance is capped and puts your income at risk when a client cancels. We're on a mission to help you avoid the retainer trap, and we want you to build a more flexible business, which means you can make more money without working with more retainer clients. If you're worried about being stuck in the retainer trap, then membership is the place to be. Inside, we give you the systems, training, support and accountability to build out new offers that don't mean taking on more long-term clients and commitments. You get monthly training from world-class experts in their field. You get coaching and support from both us and our incredible community of hundreds of other social media freelancers. And to make your life even easier, you also get access to Hubsy, the only software you need to run your business. So whether you need to send an invoice, schedule your content, manage your email marketing, or set up a website or sales page, we've got you covered. Annual membership costs less than £3 a day, and all the details are in the description. Now, on with the show.
In today's episode, I want to help you to do a ruthless audit of your business. We do this all the time in the membership. Every quarter, we bring our members together on a call and we go through various exercises to help people to understand where they've been spending their time, where they're making their money, and make a plan to make more money and spend better time in the next 90 days. Today, I want to do the audit part of that with you on this podcast. This might be something, if you're walking or you're driving, that you can just go through in your head. If you are at home or you've got a pen and paper handy, then obviously feel free to write it down and go through it properly. But what I want you to do is to just spend a bit of time and look at where you have spent most of your time, your effort, your hours in your business in the last 90 days, a month, however long you want to put a time kind of line on it. Most freelancers don't do this. So you are going to be in like the top percent of freelancers if you spend some time doing this, and it will help you, because people who don't do this, they keep piling more and more stuff onto their plate. They become really busy, they become very overwhelmed, and you start doing busy work and being busy for the sake of being busy. We held our 90-day planning call a few weeks ago. Before I started recording this podcast, I went through some of the responses that people gave to us, like in the chat and what have you. And I spotted some really interesting patterns of the things that people are kind of outgrowing, the things that people are finding they're getting them kind of stuck and they're not really moving forward. And it made me remember a framework that I've heard people talk about a lot in the past. I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Myron Golden. He has this framework where he talks about the 4 levels of value of somebody. And level 1 is like the implementation. It's the doing level. It's where you get paid for what you're doing. So in a social media kind of relation, it might be scheduling posts, writing captions, replying to DMs, making reels, all of those things. And so your income is chained directly to the hours that you can stay awake, essentially, and that you can do work, right? And Myron Golden, I'm very much paraphrasing here, but he says that the people who do the work make the least amount of money, which isn't fair, is it? But it is true. And 99% of the workforce kind of lives at that level 1. Most freelance social media managers are at that level 1, where you're spending lots and lots of time doing the work, and therefore you're probably the least well-paid person, which isn't great when you've started your own business. But there are things that you can do about that, which is obviously great. And that's one of the things we're going to kind of talk about in this episode. You can be brilliant at what you do and you can still be capped at that income level. You can still be exhausted. You can still be trading hours for money, you know. And the way out of that isn't to work harder. It's not to try and, you know, work longer hours. It's to kind of move up a level. And by moving up a level, you're going to stop doing some things. So that's what we're going to audit in your business right now, right? So when I was looking at what our members had told us, I'll tell you what they're kind of doing and the things that they dislike doing and what have you. And some of this is literally their words from the chat. So some of the things that our members are going to stop doing is the admin. Okay, they found that they were spending a lot of time on admin that they, in their words, loathe. So things like accounting, invoicing, all those kind of nitty-gritty things, faffing about in Canva, scheduling, yeah, probably ringing true, kind of getting into the endless loop of editing things. You know the case, you set up a website and you're like, oh, I'm just going to tweak this. Or you create a lead magnet, I'm just going to change this little bit here. I'm just going to make this button look a little bit better. All those things where you're kind of faffing with things that probably don't really need to be faffed with. Don't worry, I've been there too. Other things they were talking about is like the red flag clients, the things that make them dread Mondays. And when you're a freelancer, you shouldn't dread Mondays. Like that's when you're in a job. So red flag clients, things to look out for. Some of the other things that people were saying is that they have a big list of potential clients that they never find the time to go and contact because they're so busy doing all of these other things, right? So what we do on these calls is we get people to start to put things into buckets. So I want you to think about all of the things that you spend time on and whether it's worth it and whether you're going to continue doing it or you're going to stop doing it or you're going to delegate. So the 3 buckets that you'd put things in are you're going to keep doing them because they are worth your time, they are worth your money, and maybe they make you money, right? You're not just going to keep doing them because you enjoy doing it. If it's making you money and you enjoy doing it, great. If it's just faffing about in your website and you enjoy doing it, it's not a great use of your time. We're not going to keep doing that. So if it's something that's making you money, growing your business, lighting you up, etc., those are the things you're going to keep doing. Double down on those things. If it's a habit or something that you've kind of outgrown, something that shouldn't really be doing in your business. So I remember somebody in the chat said that they had created all of their lead magnet pages in Hubsy, but they just kept editing them. And what I actually needed to do was start promoting the lead magnet. So they were going to ditch the editing part of that. It was all built. They were just faffing. So what is it that you need to kind of stop doing and ditch entirely? And then the final bucket is the delegate part. So there'll be things that are best for you to do. There are things that don't need doing at all. And then there are things that are not the best use of your time. And this is where I say that the person who's doing all the work is often the least well-paid person. And you shouldn't be the least well-paid person in your business, even if you are a solopreneur and you are the only person in your business. Now, I know you're probably listening to this thinking, yeah, but I can't delegate anything because I can't afford to hire somebody else. That's fine. There are 3 ways that you can delegate. You can delegate to a human, so outsource to like a VA, an administrator, another social media manager. You know, that's what people tend to think of as delegation. But there's 2 other ways that you can delegate. You can delegate to automation. So things that you do the same way every single time, a lot of that can be delegated to an automation. So you're not having to do it. And you can delegate to AI. Now, we are in probably the best time ever to be a freelancer. If you think about even just 5 years ago, we had no choice but to do every single thing in our business ourselves or pay for a human to do it for us. Times have changed massively. It's amazing. We can do so many things now that we couldn't do 5 years ago. It's never been cheaper or easier to delegate because we can, of course, continue to delegate to a human, but we can now delegate to an AI agent who in some respects can do as good a job as a human. Now, I know you're going to be thinking, hang on a minute, Laura, I don't want to be talking about AI taking over humans' jobs. People still need jobs. And I totally agree. I want you to remember, though, that every single AI tool, agent, etc., was trained by a human, and it's only as good as the human who's trained it. So AI can't replace great humans, but they can help humans to work better. And if you were never going to delegate to another human anyway, you're not taking somebody's job away by delegating to AI. So just let that sink in. We have been building agents in our business for months. Ever since we switched to Claude, we kind of had this, I don't know, it was like this whole mindset shift about AI, and we've embraced it, and we are fully in our AI era. We are like AI geeks. It's like vomit. Like, we talk about AI so much it makes me sick, but we literally talk about it all the time. We've got AI agents that help us run our business. We're not a big business. We can't afford to have a massive team. So we have AI agents that help us to run our business. So as an example of some AI agents that we've got in our business, this podcast that I am recording right now was planned by a trained agent. We've trained an agent who knows everything about our business, knows everything about what we want to do on a podcast, and will go and plan a podcast. It will find the topics, it will tell us the things that we should probably be talking about in there, and it will pull lots of information from various different places in our business and give us some like bulleted notes so we know what we're going to talk about on a podcast. That was one of the biggest things that used to hold Laura and I up when we were recording podcasts previously, because we would have these ideas, we'd bash them out, we'd talked about them like backwards and forwards for ages. Maybe eventually we'd write some notes, or we wouldn't, and we'd turn up to record a podcast and we'd be like, oh God, hang on, we've got to write some notes. And then that would take up another half an hour. Everything just took a long, long time. Now we can go into Airtable when we're ready to record a podcast, and there will be a whole batch of ideas in there that we can go and pick from. There'll be talking points, there'll be like things that it's pulled out of our Airtable, out of our call transcripts, our meetings, all the different places, you know, our blog, our courses, etc. And it will give us things that we can talk about. So it's not just plucking ideas out of thin air, it has been highly, highly trained by us, right? Once I've finished recording this, that same agent will edit the transcript and it will write the show notes for us so that we know that everything is good to go. We've got agents that help us with our finances. We want to go and analyze data so that we can understand what to do in our business, but we don't want to be the ones who are doing the data entry. AI can do that. We have AI agents that help with launches. I've even got an AI agent that meal plans for me now. Every single week, it gives me a full menu of recipes for every night of the week. I hate cooking, like literally with a passion, hate cooking. The minute I win the lottery, the first person I'm going to hire is going to be a personal chef. And I'm probably going to have to hire two because I couldn't possibly have a night when they're off and I have to cook. Like, that would be my first human hire in my house, would be a personal chef. At the moment, I can't afford a personal chef. So I have an AI agent who gives me a menu of really easy to cook meals. It knows what I like, knows what I don't like, knows our allergies, knows our food intolerances, all of those sorts of things. And not only does it plan what we're going to eat, it tells me how I can make that meal suitable for William. If you're a new listener here, by the way, William is my 17-year-old son. He's disabled, he's tube fed, and he's got various different nutritional needs, and I need to make sure that everything that he's eating is high calorie, low volume, and it can go through a very tiny little tube, right? So this AI agent understands how to make the meals that we're eating suitable for him. It tells me how to add calories in it so that I can make sure that he's getting enough. It tells me as well how I can make sure that Kev's happy. Kev is very much a meat and potatoes kind of guy. So if there's a meal that comes out and there's no potatoes on the plate and no carbs and starch, he's like, where's the potatoes? So every single thing that's in the menu is planned out around what we like to eat. Like me being quite a picky eater, and it's brilliant. So it plans out our meals. It also gives me a full shopping list. It knows where I shop, so it does it based on what it knows I can get from those shops. It's amazing. AI is doing such a brilliant job, both in our business and in our personal lives. But you can't start to use AI very well in your business until you've done this really kind of deep audit in your business and you're doing it regularly and you're being ruthless about what it is that you're going to keep doing because it's best for you to do it. The things you're not going to do entirely, like we're going to get rid of them, just going to scrap them. We're not going to be doing that faffing about in Canva anymore. We're not going to be doing the faffing about on our website. Once it's done, it's done. We're going to let it run and we're going to make changes based on data. Okay? Agree with me? So we're going to stop doing all the things that are kind of a waste of our time. We're going to delegate things that are not the best use of our time but need to be done. And we can delegate, as I said, to a human. We can delegate to automations, and we use a lot of automations in our business, like so many automations. But You can also delegate to AI. Now, your AI tools need to be really, really well trained. We have spent a long time training our AI tools, like a long time. My meal planner, like it took me a long time and I'm still tweaking it now. So you have to think about, yes, your time is well spent training an AI agent because eventually it's going to take over the jobs that you shouldn't be doing anymore. When you start to do this and you start to delegate all these kind of busy works, whether it's to a human or an agent or automation, whatever, you're going to free up time, which will allow you to move up that value ladder so that you don't become the least well-paid person in your business and you can start making more money. What I want to say to you now is that freelancers who kind of really win in their business in the next 12 months and who are really enjoying their business, having more flexibility and freedom, making more money, they are not going to be the ones who are working harder. They're going to be the ones who are working smarter in their business. They have got really great offers. They're using the offer triangle, for example, for how they are planning out what they're doing in their business in terms of offers. So they've got those long-term clients, they've got the one-to-one offers, they've got the group offers, but they've also figured out how to delegate smarter. And the ones who are doing it with AI, they are going to be the ones who are going to kind of beat you. Not in a physical sense. But I just want you to think about those sorts of things. So I want you to go and grab a pen and paper, and maybe you've been doing this whilst you've been listening to this podcast. But I want you to think about where it is you spend your time in your business and what are the things that you're going to keep doing, what are the things you're going to ditch entirely, and what are you going to delegate and who are you going to delegate it to? For everything in that delegate pile, just decide, are you going to delegate this to a person? Are you going to delegate this to automation or to AI? There's so many different ways that you can delegate these days, and we are in the best time that we've ever been in business. And I want you to start getting excited about that because I see a lot of freelancers panicking right now about AI, and that's not the way to be thinking. It is a great time to be running a business. And the very first step is to do that mini audit of your business and decide what are the things you're going to keep doing, ditch and delegate. Come and let us know in our DMs. I'm really super interested to know what things you're going to delegate and who you're going to delegate them to. So yeah, come and chat. Let us know. We're on Instagram at the Two Lauras. Totally love chatting about all of this stuff, tech, AI, etc., etc. We are always open. Let us know what you're dealing with. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of JFDI with the Two Lauras. If you want more support, strategy and systems to run your social media business, we send exclusive content to our email list almost every day. You can sign up at thetwolauras.com/emails. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Two Lauras and visit our website, thetwolauras.com, for more advice and support. Thank you so much for being part of our community, and we'll see you on socials.